So my video cut off right at the end of the book, so I have a couple pages left. So this is the last video, very end. Let's get into it. But at last everything was ready, and the day came when the Poppers were to go down and say goodbye. Bill and Janey ran all over the ship and did not want to leave when it was time to draw the gangplank. The Admiral shook hands with them and Mrs. Popper and thanked them for having helped to train the extraordinary penguins that were to be a real contribution to science. Mr. Popper had gone down below to say a private farewell to his birds. All that kept him from breaking down completely was the knowledge that he was doing what was best for them too. First, he said goodbye to all the younger penguins, then to Greta, who had saved Captain Cook. Then, last of all, he leaned over and said a special goodbye to Captain Cook, who had come and made life so different for Mr. Popper. Then he wiped his eyes, straightened his back, and went up on deck to say goodbye to Admiral Drake. "Goodbye, Admiral Drake," he said. "Goodbye?" repeated the Admiral. "Why, what do you mean? Aren't you coming with us?" "Me? Go to the North Pole? Why, of course, Mr. Popper. But how could I go with you? I'm not an explorer or a scientist. I'm only a house painter." "You're the keeper of the penguins, aren't you?" roared the Admiral. "Man alive, aren't those penguins the reason for this whole expedition? And who's going to see that they're very well and happy if you're not along? Go put on one of those fur suits, like the rest of us. We're pulling anchor in a minute." "Mama!" shouted Mr. Popper to Mrs. Popper, who had already gone up the gangplank. I'm going too! Admiral Drake says he needs me. Mama, do you mind if I don't come back for a year or two?" "Oh, as to that," said Mrs. Popper, "I'll miss you very much, my dear. But we have money to live on for a few years. And in winter, it'll be much easier to keep the house tidy, without a man sitting around all day. I'll be getting back to Stillwater. Tomorrow is the day for the meeting of the Ladies' Aid and Missionary Society, and I'll be just in time. So, goodbye, my love, and good luck." "Goodbye and good luck," echoed the children. And the penguins, hearing their voices, scuttled up on deck and stood there beside the Admiral and Mr. Popper. Then they solemnly lifted their flippers and waved, as the great ship moved slowly down the river toward the sea. The end. All right, that's the end. You guys can go ahead and take an AR test on it. Remember, it is a 5.6 level, and it's worth 3 whole points. So, see you guys in the next book series, or book that we're going to read. We'll figure out what that is.